What's up, nerds and nerdettes and we little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G from Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming! Ouch. What's up, everyone? Before I get into this Midday Monologue Monday, I just want to apologize that there was no video this past Friday. I know I've gotten in a fairly decent good schedule for daily drops of new videos, and I'm sorry. It was a little bit out of my control. I ended up having foot surgery on Friday, and man, I got home, and those meds just completely knocked me out. So I'm even out of work for the next couple of days. So I got my foot propped up, and it's all wrapped up, as you can see right here. Just for you guys. But that's not going to stop me. I got my foot up, I got it wrapped. I'm going to shoot this quick little video, and then I'm back on the couch and relaxing. So what I wanted to talk about today is a top topic. Oh yes, it's a hot top topic. Well, I like the sound of that. It's a hot top topic. This topic is about conventions. Oh yeah, San Diego Comic-Con just wound down, and now we're getting ready for Gen Con, the biggest gaming convention in the world, at least biggest gaming convention here in America. Is Essen bigger? Might be. Never really crunched the numbers on that. But regardless, first or second, it is still meaning the same thing, and that is it is huge. It is a gigantically huge event. These aren't the only two conventions. Or three. Mentioned three right there. These aren't the only three. There's a lot of conventions. In fact, it's hard to go by a month, maybe even a couple of weeks, without seeing some convention popping up somewhere with the advertisement for it, whether it's sci-fi in general, whether it's a specific show convention, book convention, whether it is one of the biggies. There's always conventions going on. You like conventions. You might love conventions. I'm here to talk about conventions, specifically convention lines. Because we all know that sometimes if you want to guarantee a good spot, if you want to guarantee getting in right, if you want to, because not all of them are done. Not all of them are done where you can get a number and come back and that's your spot. Sometimes you just got to sit there in line, and well, that sucks. Sometimes you might be sitting there in line, might not even move for an hour or more. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to game. Well, you're probably going to be on your phone. You're probably going to be talking to your friends. But given the option, yes, you too can game. So I'm here to tell you about my five favorite convention line games. Now, these games all fit into the category for me because they are small games, easy to carry around. They're short games. None of them should take more than a half hour to play. And third of all, there's not a lot of components. The less the better. Definitely, the less the better. Because if you do have to move, or with other people standing around you and not watching where they're stepping, you don't want a lot of stuff out. So those are the three criteria I was thinking of when I was putting together in my mind what would be the 5 favorite convention line games for me, anyway. So now this is in no particular order. If you're looking for which of these are the best in this order, or in this list I'm giving you, that's not what it's here for. Sorry, that's not what it's here for. So first up, number one in the no order. First one I'm telling you about is a game I love. It's come up in topics many a times. I love it because it fits all these categories, whether you're going to be at a convention or not. It's easy to bring with you. It's simple to teach someone. It's fast to pick up, and it's fast to play. And it is a press your luck style game, so that kind of ramps up a little bit of the intensity. And that game by Steve Jackson Games, you gonna get that better focus? Get that in better focus, maybe a little bit. All right. There's Zombie Dice. This here is the deluxe travel one in the good hard case. If you're going to be bringing the game around a lot, I do suggest getting the deluxe case, but you don't have to. So this is a very fast, simple game. It's easy game. You are zombies. You want to eat brains. And of course, the pesky humans, for some reason, they don't want you eating the brains. So they're running away from you, and they're shooting you. Ah, horrible, horrible. But if you collect 13 brains, my friends, you are going to win. So you push your luck because you don't cash out, so to speak, until you decide to end your turn. So you could have gotten 8 brains, and you could keep pushing your luck. You want to get more, and then you get that third shotgun, boom, you're dead. You don't get any of those points. You didn't cash them in. You only cash them in at the end of your turn. So that's where that push the luck kind of comes in, and it's real fun. You're playing with the right people, and they're all sitting around the table going, one more roll, come on, man, come on. It's got a couple of quick expansions you can add to it. It's got a double feature expansion, which you can swap out 2 dice for 2 different dice, where one of them includes the hero and the heroine, and the other includes Santa Claus. And then the third one is a big 12-sided die called the school bus. Get on the bus. Come on, get on the bus. We love yelling that at the game. So it's fast, it's easy to travel with, it's not going to take up a lot of space. So the first game on this list, Zombie Dice. Zombie Dice. This is a good game to have with you on your conventions. Now the next one is another dice game. In fact, most of these actually are, because they're easy to carry around with you. Now this one here, Not Dice. Not Dice. These dice are absolutely beautiful. What you're doing in the game, get a better focus on that maybe, a little bit better. What you're doing in the game, well, it's really dependent on what game you're playing. Because there's like, I forget the count. There's like 9 or 12 different games. And there's almost as many different puzzles that you can set up and do. So there's a lot of options in this game. Replayability is, man, that is, the needle is pegged on it. Let me tell you. So depending on what game you're playing, or puzzle you're playing, you're going to have different things to do. But really, it all revolves around setting up the dice in the beginning, rolling them, being able to take dice and using the sides that are facing up. In some games, you're able to rotate them. In some games, you're able to change the positioning once they're down. But either way, it's a very turn-by-turn strategic game, trying to deal with the dice that you have and making patterns out of it. And it is so much fun. And by the end of the game, man, it looks beautiful. Even if you're messed up, it's still going to look nice. I think the worst game I've ever played, it still looked nice. And the best games I've ever played, simply beautiful. Simply beautiful. So, Not Dice. And that is by Black Oak. Yes, Black Oak Games. Right there for Not Dice. So that's a good game to have at the conventions. It's a little bit bigger than the other dice game, but still, throw it in a bag. Might not fit in your pocket, but you definitely throw it in your bag. So another quick dice game here from, again, Steve Jackson Games, and that is Chupacabra, Survive the Night. Chupacabra, Survive the Night. So in this game, everyone starts off with the same number of dice in their hand to roll, and you roll the dice. And everyone rolls the dice at the same time. I think it's even in the rules. We use the top, the lid, the counter for the first player. Everyone rolls at the same time. What's the first player for then, John? Well, let me tell you. So the first player in the game, he's the first one that is going to use the dice that they have then rolled. And if you roll any Chupacabra eyes, then you can use them to hunt the other player's goats and chickens and bulls. And what I mean by hunt them is you get those dice. So at the end of the game, the winner is the person that has all the dice in their hand. Now it really gets tricky, and actually has saved my butt at least twice that I can remember off the top of my head, is that if all the dice come up Chupacabras, they go loco, and they can take out an entire herd on someone. So if somebody ended up rolling 6 chickens, 2 goats, and a bull, boom, all those chickens are now yours. And Loco has saved me on at least 2 occasions from losing this game, and that really gets fun. So it's a nice game. It's a quick game. All the dice are going to be in your hand pretty much all the time, except for that roll. Then you're picking them up, adding the dice that you've gotten from the other players. They're adding the dice they got from you and everyone else. So the dice are pretty much always in your hand. So easy game to have and play. on a convention line. That's for sure. Now, this next game, is a little bit bigger. It only takes 30 minutes. Once you know how to play, first game might run you 45, closer to an hour. So maybe this is the kind of game you want to play early on that convention line when you know you're going to be sitting there and not moving for a while. At least for your first initial game or two. And this is a game of social combat. Not social deduction, no, social combat. And this game by Devious Weasel Games is called Dieu the Lesser Houses. Dieu the Lesser Houses in Focus. There we go. And this game is all about bad-mouthing, so to speak. I mean, it's not the kind of game where you're going to be literally saying bad things to each other around the table or around the convention line, but you're playing cards that are causing scandal on other players, because each player, including yourself, is playing a house, a lesser house, in this make-believe medieval setting. It's not magical setting, but it is a medieval setting. And, you know, it's all these Machiavellian movements behind the scene and political backstabbing of people until one house is declared the winner and they get greater house status. So there's not a lot of cards to deal with that are going to be lying around a lot, which is why I added it onto the list, besides the fact that it's really fun and I've really been enjoying this game. But yeah, so it will be easy enough in case you have to move mid-game down the line a little bit. It's not going to be too cumbersome for that. But yeah, the fun level of just sticking it into someone. But here's the other thing. Just because you make another house lose favor or become completely dishonored and villainous, doesn't mean they're out of the game. Yeah, even if you get vilified, you can still pull a rabbit out of your hat and you can still win the game as a vilified house. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Back and forth of the the turning of the backstabbing. It's going back and forth. Really fun game. Doesn't take up a lot of space. Easy to carry. If you have to move mid-game, you can make that happen without a big hassle. Definitely a good game for a convention. Now, the last of the five, because just to let you know, there's going to be 2 honoraries. So technically, this is a 7. But the last of the 5 is another Steve Jackson game. Hi, Steve, you make a lot of, never thought of it that way, but you make a lot of handy little games to bring around with you. The other one, I think there's another bag for it, but I got a really cheap version of it, and that's called Cthulhu Dice. Yeah, Cthulhu Dice. I love this game. As far as being a fast game that you can bang out in 5-10 minutes, this has got to be my favorite 5-10 minute game. You're a cultist, and everyone else is cultists, but they're not part of your cult. They're not a cultist like you are. They're crazy. They're crazy. You're the one that's right, and you want to gain all this power from the mighty Cthulhu himself. So the game has one 12-sided die, and depending on what you roll, an effect takes place. And it goes back and forth from one player to the other, and you use the beads as sanity counters. And the game suggests that a normal game you start off with 3 beads. And I'm telling you, no matter how many players you have, that'll get you about a 5-10 minute game. 10 minutes if you have a lot of players. But that's all it's going to be, because the sanity points keep going back and forth. You're stealing from someone else, they're stealing from you. Cthulhu eats them, you steal from Cthulhu. It's a madhouse, back and forth. But you really have to watch the die, and you have to remember one thing, as this messes up a lot of the early players in the game, is that every turn is 2 parts. There's an attacker and a defender. And when the defender gets to go, they are still the defender. They are not the attacker. So be careful how you read the rules on that. A defender is always a defender, whether they are taking what's coming to them or they are retaliating. Keep that in mind, and you'll have a smooth game. So those are the 5. Those are the basic 5 games I think are really good to have with you to play in convention lines. Cthulhu Dice, Dior House, Lesser Houses, Chupacabra, Survive the Night, Not Dice, and Zombie Dice. There are 2 others I would like to mention real quick. They take up, and the reason these are honorary, not on the main list, is because I just feel that the way the game is laid out, it may make it a little bit more difficult than the first 5 I mentioned as far as dealing with moving down the line while not disturbing the game. But they're still really fun. They're both card games. And one of them, I've talked about this one a few times also. This is a really fun game. Crazy 8's Camelot. If you're familiar with the basic idea of Crazy 8's or Uno, then you know the game. This has some of those beautiful medieval artwork I have ever seen. A lot of it is very real medieval artwork that you're going to see in tapestry rooms in some of these ancient castles. So if you know Uno and Crazy 8's, you know how to play this game. However, what makes this game different is there are some cards that are events, and you can play them for the immediate event, and then there are some cards that are assets that are going to play out in front of you and stay in front of your playing place, and as long as they're there, you're going to gain the effect of that card under the circumstance the card says that you gain the effect. And every one of these games I have one, and there's an expansion, Avalon, which is good. You can play it alone, 2 players. This makes a good 2-player game, or it adds on to the base game. So they're very cool, very cool. I swear every time that I have actually won this game, it has never been because I've had 0 cards in my hand. It always has something to do with one of the asset cards causing me to win. So it's really fun, really cool game. So this makes honorary mention. And the other game that makes honorary mention is something that just came to my attention recently. We did a playthrough and a 20-sided shots for the Kickstarter that's up right now, but I'm not advertising this for the Kickstarter expansion. The base game, which I didn't know existed until this got sent to me, the expansion, and they needed to send the base game with me, and that is Zombie Doctor. Now, again, this is on the honorary list because of the way the cards are lying down in front of you all the time. It might be a little bit of a hassle. But in this game, in this the base version, the core version of this game, you are playing a medical expert. There's a doctor, there's a surgeon, there's an EMT, and a nurse, I think. And you're all trapped in a hospital during the zombie apocalypse, and you're trying desperately to survive. And if you can't play a card, that means you got bit. And one of your extremities, this always starts with one of the 4 limbs, then the torso, then the head, will get infected, and you will slowly start to turn into a zombie. But it's really cool because there are cards that allow players to hack off limbs of other players, to swap out body parts. So it gets really interesting really fast. By the third turn, after enough cards have been played and enough cards haven't been able to be played because it's so early in the game and people have started zombifying. Wow, this game was so much fun. It took us by surprise how much fun it was. And I think that because it plays quick enough, the amount of fun it is, that this is worthy of a convention line game. So the two honorary mentions here, Zombie Doctor and Crazier 8's Camelot. So yeah, if you have to spend time on a convention line and you would rather socially sit down with your friends online and have a fun little game, those are my 5 favorites with 2 honorary mentions. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for checking us out on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you, of course, as always, for subscribing to Two Gun Pixie right here on YouTube. Man, it makes us feel so good that you're subscribing. It makes us feel like that we're not wasting our time here. It's so awesome. We hope to continue to entertain and inform you. And for now, I'm your buddy Big Johnny G. The Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming and my friends. Ah, yeah!